But then Suwop hit. Not a bad song. Suwu, whatever. Suwu.
Like, come on, K, you gonna be out here, man. We set tripping if you don't say it right now, man. They gonna come see us, man.
Shirt fucking blood statements.
You can't fuck up Suwu.
You get us all fucked up. We fucking by association.
You know Cali.
Never.
We can't go back to Cali, man.
Suwu is an important. You got.
Yeah, you gotta say that right. You better put respect on that name, Ken.
said Suwop.
Like Guwop.
Dead in Hip Hop album review. YG Stay Dangerous. Third album in. I think I can put him in the box of one of those artists that you don't need to change. Like he's just gonna give you that super hardcore West Coast blood shit. You know what I'm saying? Like every time. And it's so interesting because oftentimes, you know, we say artists need to grow and they need to do this and they need to do that. But sometimes they sound so good where they are that I don't feel like they need to expand much more, grow much more. Like as long as it continues to sound good. And after listening to this, that's how I felt about YG, because after a couple of listens, I'm like, well, what's different? Like, did he grow this? Is he doing this? I'm like, damn, but he don't need to change. The motherfucker, this shit knocks.
Is that the way you feel about Nipsey?
That's a damn good question. I always felt that Nipsey had more, and I feel he gave me that with Victory Lap. So it's what I wanted from Nipsey. He gave me exactly what I wanted. With YG, he continues to do that. And you know what? To answer the question, Nipsey's in the same lane where I know that he's always gonna give me that super West Coast shit, and he don't really need to change much. Continue to give me that gangster hardcore shit.
Like he's one of those artists where you be like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the thing is like, how much more do I want YG to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like he's talking about really about what he knows. He's talking about his life. He's talking about, you know, the shit that he's going through now, and he's really just talking. He just that hardcore rap.
10 times harder for a real nigga.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? and I'm cool with that. Like I was cool with that because after a couple listens, I had a question like, damn, like what is he? But after going through it, I'm like, damn, like this is good, and I like it. And stealing Ken's new word, this shit knocks. Like this shit don't really have a mood switch up until Slay with Quavo. You know what I'm saying? Everything is coming in just slapping. And Slay is until number 9.
You like Slay?
It was alright.
That's when it changed up for you or something?
Yeah, that's where it changed up for me. And how that came in, like that first beat, because remember it switched and it went slower. Yeah. But that first beat, I'm like, oh shit, they about to go on this. Yeah, and then it switched up to like it sounded like that commercial stuff that, you know, 2 times.
If you a bad bitch.
Like I just feel like artists don't be needing those songs, man. Like you don't need to put that on there. You don't need the reach for the commercialism. You know what I'm saying? Like I just felt like it was a reach. It wasn't horrible, but I don't know. It just to me it fucked with the flow up until that point.
Coming off the second one, I think my expectation was a little high. So coming in, listening to this, and I was like, I feel like he kind of took a step back. Like I think just like what you mentioned about him reaching for that commercial sound, like I felt like he was reaching a little bit for it too much. I mean, he still gave me some like gangster shit, just like Ken, 10 times, that's my shit. Bulletproof, I think that's my man that was on Freddie Gibbs joint on that Death Row.
That J Drill.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that sounds just like him. I was like,
she vegan, she don't eat meat, but she gonna eat meat now.
I was like, oh shit. Yeah, like that shit was dope as hell, man. I was just like, I like Suwu. I was like, that shit was dope as fuck. Like, after I finished listening to it, I'm just like, damn. I don't have that feeling like I had that last one. Like I said, I just think it's because my expectations was kind of going in a little high because I love that last one so much. And I'm just like, damn, YG. And then I feel like he was saying he had some bad lines in this album too. Like just some bad, like, what did he say? Like, ain't you a daughter? Yeah, but now I'm a gang banging dad. Something like, yeah.
I'm a gang banging. I like that. I'm a gang banging ass dad.
That was a good line.
That was. I like that.
You gotta be a lame ass old dad to like that line.
Hey,
Get you a kid.
I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a gang banging ass dad.
Yeah, you better tell him about it. Yeah, I feel like that was just like, I was like, I don't know about that line right there, but you know,
that shit was dope, man.
Yeah, that was just my issue with this, man. I just feel like he was just like reaching for the commercial joint too much. I mean,
so I understand. I was gonna go back to that because you mentioned it or whatever. Because I feel like J Rock kind of did the same thing. So what's the difference between J Rock and him.
You think J-Rock was going for
I
that?
think he was, yeah.
That did
I mean-
seem like that.
Hell no.
You said hell no?
And I wanted to ask you, like, for me personally, yeah, like Big Bang sounded like a commercial reach. Slay,
Power. Yep. Power. Pussy, money, fame.
Yeah, bro.
Pussy Money Fame.
Yes.
Radio?
Yeah,
Okay, it can't
of
be
course.
played on radio. It had
like,
a radio sound.
Yeah, he was going for that commercial
Pussy
song.
money fame. Pussy money fame. I like this nigga now. Like I don't know, man. I like YG,
No, I
man.
like him too. Yeah, I just feel like it was just like a little step back. Like you know how like
so 4 out of 15.
No.
Canada.
So what's other
He
ones?
didn't still hold on now.
Yep.
Y'all not gonna sit here and try to pretend.
It didn't sound like it was going for commercial.
That's exactly what it sounded
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
I mean,
The whole
it
album?
did, the most of it, yeah. It wasn't bad.
Right.
It
It's not
wasn't
like
bad at
bad.
all.
Yeah, it's just-
But it just sounded. I agree with everything B just said. It was cool,
Yeah.
but it's not something I would return to because it was
Right.
like the beats weren't really all that interesting. His flows weren't really all that interesting or compelling like they were on the last album. It didn't sound like he was really trying to prove anything. It was like the majority of the album sounded very samey.
It's like I'm here, I'm on my blood shit,
And I'm just
like,
gonna stay here the
Right.
whole time.
The edge was taken off.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
It was safe.
Yeah, it sounded like he made it now.
Good work.
Right? Like
Yeah.
he doesn't have that same motivation, that same hunger, that same passion. I give y'all that.
Pussy money and fame.
I give you that. I'm not disagreeing, but what I'm saying is, you two in particular are saying that he was reaching more so for a commercial sound.
Yes.
I don't necessarily
Why you
agree
can't
with
be
that.
scaring them like that anymore?
Like you can't be what?
Scaring them like that anymore. So yeah, he's like YG had a lot of success with that last album. Like that put him out there a lot. So yeah, I can see him kind of dialing it back a little bit.
But I still, at least to me, the way I'm listening, what you guys are saying sounds like he's reaching for that commercial accolade or that commercial sound, and I personally didn't hear it because I give you 4 tracks. I give you 4.
Overall, it does have more of a mainstream sound to it and aesthetic to it.
Because we didn't have the more bulletproofs and the 10 times and like even he got retrospective in Bompton's Finest. Like that was like something new and different for him. But yeah, he
Good
didn't.
content, but I didn't like the song.
Yeah,
Like,
The
I can
majority
skip
of the
that song.
album sounded like it was what he did on the album before Still Brazy, but a little bit more friendly. That's what this sounded
Yeah.
like. What was the first album called again?
My crazy.
My Crazy Life.
This sounds like My Crazy Life Part 2, but more friendly to people.
I mean, at least my crazy life still has some edge though. Like,
Yeah,
you can still
and
be
then
like,
Still Brazy had a lot of edge, and this one looks like the edge was just pulled all the way out.
And I guess that's why I probably like this one because I remember liking the first album more than the second album. So that's why I probably like this. But again, I still don't necessarily agree with the commercial sounding or the commercial reach because I don't know. Like I give you 4, but the rest of it, I think the edge was definitely taken off. And if because the edge is taken off, you're saying that sounds more commercial. If that's how the equation is working out for y'all, then I understand. But if that's not how it's working, I don't hear the same. I don't.
And I'm coming in with fresh ears because I don't follow YG like that, and I didn't
you
listen
never
to
listened
it.
to none of his albums.
Nah,
Okay, so
not
this was
like
new.
that. I heard songs here and there.
This was new for you.
So it was kind of new for me to like really listen to this
I'm
one.
surprised you didn't even after we reviewed Still Brazen what me, Myke, and Ken was saying. I'm surprised that didn't intrigue you to go listen.
I did go listen to it after y'all, because I don't even think I was here to record that when y'all recorded that one. I think Megan recorded that one. No, I was just saying, so coming into it with fresh ears, it didn't sound commercial like how y'all are saying it. Now, like that's why I'm more with Feefo. I could hear like maybe 4 tracks that had a commercial appeal, but for the most part, I was just like, this is some West Coast shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's West Coast, yeah, for sure.
West
Like,
Coast Radio.
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's West Coast. I think that was like, because I admit I was let down. I was like, man, this new YG about to be crazy. Stay Dangerous too. The title.
Yeah, the title, yeah.
Let's get 10 times harder than the real nigga. Get him, YG. Tell the
Yeah, that
motherfucker.
shit came out hard.
Then Bulletproof came. I was like, all right, we
Let's
rolling.
Dangerous.
Number 5 hit. I was like, uh-oh.
You know what a big problem with this was? His hooks. He didn't have the hooks he had on the last album. The hooks on the last album, you hear them and you start singing them.
Yeah, they were
This one,
catchier.
Not at all. It was
So y'all
like,
don't-
what?
No, it was like, go ahead.
No, good.
No, I'll come in after that.
I think that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, my bad.
No.
Pussy Money and Fame was catchy for whatever.
Money and fair. It was just 3.
I don't know, but it was just
The way it was said.
funny catchy to me.
Yeah.
It's his version of Money Cash Homes. Like,
Pussy money.
What I was gonna say to you, Myke, is like it sounds like because you keep referencing like the other album, it doesn't sound like the other album, and I feel like that's kind of altering your opinion a bit in
What's
a sense.
altering my opinion?
The fact that it doesn't sound like the other album. Because y'all keep referencing the other album, and that's why I said I'm coming into it with fresh ears, not listening to the other album, and it sounds kind of fine to me.
And I mean that's true. I mean I guess him being an artist like that, I think like what Feefo mentioned before, I think I would have been okay if he'd have gave me kind of like a Still Brazy part 2.
I've been referencing the album before the last one.
Okay.
I haven't referenced the last album that much. What I'm saying is, I think that this album lacked a couple different things. It lacked the grit that Still Brazy had, but it upped on the sensibility that the first album had. So I'm referencing the other two. The thing is, like on these songs, I didn't pull anything from them. Like these songs weren't memorable to me. The songs on Still Brazy were memorable. Even the songs on My Crazy Life to a degree were memorable, even though I didn't like them all that much. This album, I didn't walk away with anything really. I walked away saying, oh, it's a cool album. But nothing was in my head. Like, there was nothing that I really wanted to return to.
To your point, you know, when he got together to create an album, you know, he's writing an album, so he's songwriting. You know, the previous projects were more, you know, about his life. Okay. So, you know, I think they had a different meaning to them, you know, in terms of, you know, what he was writing, how he was designing to tell a story, how he was conceptualizing the whole album. This is like, okay, my third album, let me get down here and let me make some songs.
And just to be clear, right? Just so that the audience and everybody understands, you're not saying it's a bad album at all. Right. You're not saying, Myke, it's a bad album at all. You're not saying it's a bad album.
It's boo-boo. Nah, I'm not saying. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, everybody here is saying it's a good album. It's just...
I'm just a little more critical on this one just
because of where he set the bar previously for y'all.
And that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, so he's not meeting the bar again.
I don't even want to say he's not meeting the bar. It's just a different sound, and it's a sound that I'm not interested in.
Why? Exactly.
Why?
Like you said, it's a sound that you're not interested in. What is it about the sound that you're not interested in?
It's a bit too friendly. It's a bit too bouncy. There's not any grit. When I listen to West Coast music, to me, it's like I like the gritty stuff, even though it can be a little bit clean, like Dre's shit,
right.
or even DJ Quick stuff. But there's still an element of grit there. I feel like the only grit I have is just knowing who YG is.
Exactly.
I'm not pulling any grit from this.
Exactly. And I definitely understand that because in the last two albums, everything that was the grit was YG. YG brought the grit. You know what I'm saying?
Not the last album.
Huh?
Not the last album.
What do you mean not the last album?
Not
Too Brazy?
Still Brazy, I felt the grit.
You felt so YG didn't provide it. It was
YG just enhanced it.
He enhanced it.
Yes. On this one,
but he was still grit though. On this one, on this one he wasn't grit, and I give you that. I agree there. 10 times harder. Yes. He still had, because I think it's part of his natural fabric that he's still gonna get a little bit of it. But I feel where you're coming from, where that was extremely toned down from the previous two projects.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm definitely not saying it's bad at all.
None of us are.
Yeah.
It's just this is not a sound that interests me. I don't really care for radio-friendly West Coast music. Other people might, and if they do, they'll love this album. Personally, it's just not for me, that's all.
Yeah. Well, maybe from this artist, I guess, this particular artist. You think it's West Coast period?
Nah, I'm just not into this sound. Like when I hear Big Bang, Big Bang, take little bang, it just, that's just not what and I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying, like, that's just not.
Just you don't like that West Coast bounce like that.
Nah. And it's almost like you were talking about Nipsey. That's almost part of my issue with Nipsey too. It's like that's not the kind of West Coast that I like. I like the meaner sounding shit. I like the more menacing. And there were a couple songs.
And that's how the last album was?
Say again?
And that's how the last album was?
The last album just sounded like a 90s West Coast rap album to me. So I think it just pulled on heartstrings because we haven't really heard somebody replicate that sound that well.
It really did.
But this one, like I said, I just feel like he went back to the formula from the first album because he brought Mustard back, and then they just enhanced the friendliness of it, and that's all.
But you know, for me, the reason why I liked it It's because I bumped this shit in the whip, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can bump it. Like, man, you put this shit on, like, I ain't gotta skip anything, like, until it gets to Slay. Like, that's really, like, as I let it play in the car, that was the only one I'm like, I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to listen to that. You know, next time, which one?
Handgun.
Yeah, with Rocky?
That I had listened to that song 3 times before I could figure out where Rocky was.
Me too.
I didn't even know it was him.
I was trying to figure out ASAP Rocky was in.
It don't sound like him.
It don't.
That's not a knock. It just didn't sound like. That's one of the things I love about Rocky.
Yeah,
is he's able to switch up his style so much.
Yep. Like he didn't sound like no Harlem dude.
No.
Like he sounded like he blended in right in the West Coast.
He sure the fuck
just
did.
fine. I was like, all right, ASAP.
I still don't know where he at.
Nah, you can pick it up now. It's just his tone is different.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
it's almost he's like on the same tone as the beat. Like it's like he's not above the beat.
Yeah, there you go.
He's kind of like
he blends
in it.
in really well.
Yeah.
You know who else surprised me on this shit? Big Sean. I will go on record saying Big Sean had the best verse on that song. His verse is actually dope. You can cross it. You can look at me.
I'm not.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I don't want
you.
No.
Okay, Big
No,
Sean.
I just said I wasn't mad after I heard his voice. You know, they took his controversy with his verse.
Oh,
you know about it. You know about
That's
it.
not on this. This is not about this album though.
No,
It is. The Big Bang song.
The Big Bang song.
It was this
on
song
Madden.
that
It was
was
on the
on
Madden
Madden.
song, and they took it off.
Oh,
So
I'm about to say he did
Cap.
say Kaepernick on here.
Yeah.
Y'all wore Cap. I'm like Kaepernick.
But on Madden,
Oh, that's what
they
you're
took it
talking
out.
about. Never mind.
You know,
My
because
fault.
NFL like
his
they took
verse
it out.
wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I'm not. I'll put it this way. I won't argue with you about your statement.
For me, give me 10 times Bulletproof. Can't Get In Canada. 666 Two Braids.
10 times and Bulletproof.
10 times. I got Bulletproof, Handgun. I got 666 and Bompton's Finest.
I was about to say somebody better fucking say Bump. That shit was the dopest track on here. I'm just saying, but no. 10 times.
I didn't care for
Man, what? He had a guitar sample in that
He was
shit.
introspective and
That shit
everything.
was dope. 10 times. I'm gonna say Handgun, Deep in the Rap, because that song was dope as fuck. Y'all didn't mention it. Y'all are tripping. Deep in the Rap. And Bompton's Finest. Bomptown's Finest, excuse me. Y'all are crazy. That beat was tight as fuck. And he was rapping on some real shit.
YG, if you watch it, man, hey, man. I definitely understand where the guys are coming from, where this one sounds more clean, more polished, less gritty. It definitely sounds less gritty, but that didn't diminish it for me at all. I think that you still were able to deliver an album that bumps in the whip heavy. I enjoy it. I could put it in the car, ride out to it.
YG, if you're watching, I did not hate this album. I did not dislike this album. I think this is a cool listen. I just think that coming off the... Oh yeah, you're right.
You really trying to get fucked up. I'm trying to save your life.
This was a good listen. But yeah, I mean, no, this is not a knock of your catalog. I mean, this is an extension of your catalog. It's just not one of my favorite albums from you. And then coming off the second album, which I really, really enjoyed, my own personal expectations were high. And, it just didn't, upon, the first listen, didn't quite get there. But that doesn't make this a bad album. So yeah, just keep doing your thing, man. You're in a nice little pocket. And you're giving us West Coast music, a West Coast sound that we sorely need in hip hop. So yeah, appreciate it.
YG, if you're watching, good solid effort. Like I mentioned before, I just felt like it was a little step back from your previous work because I loved it so much. My expectations was pretty high going to this one. But yeah, just like Ken said, man, like thanks for still bringing in that hardcore West Coast gangster shit that you always been doing since you started. It's like I feel like the Kendrick Lamar is like the angel side, and you bring like the devil side of West Coast as far as just the music and everything. So good job. But yeah, solid album. I definitely got some joints I take away from here that I can replay. But it was like the highs was highs, but the lows was really low. So that's it.
YG, if you're watching, don't change anything. This is a good body of work. It's just not the sound that I particularly care for, but that doesn't mean shit, because people that like this sound, you did this sound very well. So if people are into that style of West Coast hip hop, they're gonna love the album. So keep doing what you do, and maybe you'll bring back a little bit of that still brazy grit for the next album. But yeah, good job. I got nothing else to say.